Okay, so I think we are going to go ahead and get started. Kelby, if you can just keep an eye on the waiting room, that would be awesome. Cool. Okay, so hello everybody and welcome. This is our first tenant webinar and we are so excited that you are joining us. As we have folks coming in, feel free to introduce yourself, name, organization you're with, pronouns, anything else you want to share, just right there in the chat box. This is, as you may notice, more of a meeting setup instead of a webinar because we do want to keep this as kind of conversational as possible. So definitely use that chat box, introduce yourself. And I think we will go ahead and get started. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mariah, and I am the Director of Tenant Services here at the Alliance Center. So I get the honor of working with and supporting this amazing tenant community. With me today is also Kelby Johnson. She's our amazing events coordinator who is going to help us run the show. And here at the Alliance Center, we have over 50 different tenant organizations that are a part of our community, and all of them work on some aspect of sustainability. So whether that's healthcare, conservation, solar energy, skills-based hiring practices, all sorts of good stuff. The majority of our tenants are nonprofits, but we do have a handful of business organizations that are also doing really great work in fields like finance, green building design, technology, that type of thing. So here in just a few minutes, we will be hearing from 3 of those tenants, but first we'll take care of a little bit of housekeeping. As you're joining, you will be on mute, so just try to stay that way for everyone's sake. Don't worry if you forget, we will be muting you. And second, I totally understand that screen fatigue is real. We're all spending a lot more time in front of our computers. So feel free to turn your video off here for this first half while we're mostly hearing from our speakers. Maybe you need to make some lunch, anything like that. Definitely feel free to turn that video off. But I do encourage you to turn your video back on here for the Q&A section at the end so you can see our faces and make it more of a conversation. As you are hearing from the speakers, if you have any questions, you are welcome to use the chat box to chat them in for the group. You can also chat me directly, and we will save those questions for the Q&A section there at the end. At the end, you will also have the option to unmute if you would rather just ask the question yourself. So a couple options there. The session will also be recorded, so we will be able to send it out to folks who weren't able to make it today. At the end, we'll do a quick drawing for a gift card. Usually we would provide lunch at these types of events, but we obviously can't do that now logistically. So this is my little nod to days gone by, I guess you could say. And then last, we'll be wrapping up around 12:45 to give you enough time to get to your next meeting. So a little bit shorter than maybe you might be used to for webinars and such, but I feel like we all could use a little bit of a break. So I think that's everything. We'll go ahead and get started. For some context, the idea for this webinar actually came about from a tenant suggestion. We're not in the building as much anymore. We don't see those familiar faces in the hallways and conference rooms like we used to. And there are a lot of our tenants who are virtual, so maybe they weren't really in the building much even before the pandemic. So we wanted to find a way to still build that sense of community and connection and help folks learn more about the work that their fellow tenants are doing and hopefully find ways that they can plug in and connect with each other. Here at the Alliance Center, we really believe that we are stronger and better when we are working together. So that's what I am hoping that you are able to get from our time here together today. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers. Here with us today is Dana Coelho with the Metro Denver Nature Alliance, Kat Riley with the Colorado Alliance for Environmental Education, and Kristen Kim Haynes with Recycle Colorado. So a very warm welcome and thank you so much to each of you for taking the time to talk with us today. So first we will be hearing from Dana with Metro Denver Nature Alliance. So Dana, I will let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your organization.
Awesome. Thanks, Mariah, for the opportunity to be a part of this virtual community and to share a little bit about what I do what we do at Metro DNA. And if you need to hurry me up or cut me off, feel free to. Let's see. So I am the Alliance Director at Metro DNA, which is a growing coalition of nonprofit, government, research, and private sector partners focused on aligning nature-based efforts to ensure more equitable access to nature across the 7-county Denver metro region, and at the same time to promote healthy people, communities, and natural places. So our big picture long-term goal is a metro region that is a thriving place for both people and nature. And the types of relationships that we're trying to build, the kinds of conversations that we're trying to have are around building programs, building events, building in more and more different types of environmental and ecological data and knowledge and information into planning processes at the county level, city level. We also work with state and federal government agencies. So just really trying to build the relationships and the capacity within our kind of formal and informal planning sector, and the folks that then bring nature and bring these like parks and open spaces and trails to life through programming that is, you know, responsive to community interests and needs, responsive to, you know, differing environmental conditions, economic conditions, different cultural traditions. So we do a lot of learning together and then a lot of program delivery together. Presently, I am still the only staff person employed by Metro DNA. We are a project of the Colorado Nonprofit Development Center. So our 501c3 status comes through that bigger umbrella organization. Working with them has been awesome. We totally would not have been able to get where we are today had we tried to create a brand new nonprofit. So shout out to CNDC. If anyone works with them, has worked with them, is familiar with them, they're a huge statewide support to startup organizations. Yeah, yay, fiscal sponsorship down there. It helps me take at least a couple things off of my factotum role of being director, program manager, grant writer, development director, web developer, social media specialist. It kind of makes my head explode. So at least I'm not also our lawyer and our accountant. So that's a little bit about kind of what we do and how we do it. I mentioned that we don't have any additional staff yet at this point, but through relationships that we have with universities, we've had a tremendous opportunity to work with individual students, teams of students, whole classes of students on specific projects like our Nature Narratives project that a CU Boulder Masters of the Environment team really ran with last year. So from project-based stuff like that to a program evaluation that we worked with a CU Denver School Public Affairs student on last year. So instead of contracting out our kind of, you know, we're halfway through our 3-year strategic business plan. How are we doing in meeting the goals that we set out? We were able to basically contract with a graduate student to do that. So I would definitely encourage others who are new or strapped for cash, which lots of nonprofits are and especially are right now. Work with students. It gives them some real world experience and it brings just a tremendous amount of value to me personally as a director and then also to our network. So how have the last few months changed the way Metro DNA operates? Fundamentally, we are in the business, like the Alliance Center, of convening people and getting them together, you know, in buildings, in outdoor spaces. Regularly in June, we co-host a huge event in Southwest Denver Park at Garfield Lake Park called Safe Summer Kickoff on Get Outdoors Day, and that didn't happen, and that really threw just everyone for a loop, was really stressful, was really sad, but thankfully has spurred some creativity and some ability to lean into other partners and some of their ideas for still connecting with the community. So I would say that the pandemic has forced a lot of creativity and really strengthened some relationships. Others are faltering, and certainly our partner dues financial model feels really unsustainable at this particular point in time, as our nonprofit partners, our university partners, and our local government partners are really struggling with their own revenue. So we're taking kind of a different approach to, how much is it that we can invest in our organization and our staff and our technology right now? How much can we reasonably expect partners to invest? What grants are out there that we can go after? Frankly, we're not like a emergency services or a direct response kind of organization, so that makes grants a little challenging at this moment too. But we're just trying to be nimble and trying to continue to invest in whatever way we can in the relationships that we really think are long-term of value. So what that means through the end of this year is finding maybe some low-hanging fruit kind of tech solutions to make some of our business operations simpler, so that maybe I work a little bit less, we have to invest a little bit less in staff. We've moved all of our meetings virtual. That's not going to change, and we're doing kind of in the spirit of Safe Summer Kickoff on Get Outdoors Day, we're tagging on to other partner events, be those food distribution events where we can also provide some like recreation gear and some health and safety information to folks, along with the food that they need to survive, to say, hey, it's also important that you focus on more of your big picture health and feel capable and welcome to connect with the amazing nature that we have in the region. So doing those kinds of things, finding new opportunities to do those, tapping into the plethora of online education opportunities that we have now, and kind of processing and distilling some of that with our partner network, since no one can be on everything all the time. If we tap into 100+ people who are going to different events, if they're willing to share little summaries in a small group conversation or a little blog post, we're trying to get that information out there so that folks have it handy. So I guess just in conclusion there, thinking about how we can then bring some of those resources to this Alliance Center community, which has even a different kind of focus and breadth of partners than Metro DNA does, but just really step up playing that connector role, the very best we can. So be as nimble as possible and continue to connect people in fun ways, short ways, and little bite-sized ways that hopefully bring some professional development and a modicum of joy to your day.
Awesome, Dana, thank you so much. Yeah. Business of connecting people is definitely a challenge right now. So we feel that.
More important than ever, right?
Yeah, true. So great. Well, thank you so much. Up next, we have Kat Riley with the Colorado Alliance for Environmental Education. So already I'm seeing some similarities there. But Kat, I will let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thanks, Mariah. Hey, everyone. So glad to be here today. My name is Kat Riley. I'm with the Colorado Alliance for Environmental Education. You might have seen me in the Alliance Center once, because I was only ever there once, because I was hired at the beginning of this year, moved to Colorado, and guess what happened? COVID. So I haven't been in the Alliance Center since, and I took on this opportunity to really get to know you all and understand who the other tenants are, because so far. I've been holed up in my little apartment since then. So I am the AmeriCorps program coordinator. So I really oversee just one program within CAEE. But I definitely wanted to share with you all some of the work that we're doing and to express who we are, because we are only staffed by 3 people, and we sometimes come into the Alliance Center, but we are doing a lot of work right now. So to get started, I will tell you a little bit more about who CAEE is. We were established in 1989 to support the many types of educators who teach concepts surrounding how natural systems work, what we must do to interact responsibly with the environment, and how we can protect natural resources for future generations. Collectively, we inspire educators, schools, and communities to impact conservation, education, social justice, health and wellness, and positive youth development. We do that by promoting best practices in environmental education through offering extensive professional development and guidelines for excellence, providing resources and opportunities for collective action, and advocating for programs and policies that will advance environmental literacy at the statewide level. So we are the largest network of environmental educators in Colorado, serving over 800,000 learners of all ages and hundreds of EE providers. So environmental education, EE, I'm gonna use that acronym a lot. We are an affiliate organization alongside 57 other affiliates that form the largest network of environmental educators in the country. We have been working together for decades to build a robust and dynamic community of EE professionals and partners who really understand the value and power of EE to ensure an equitable, sustainable, and vibrant world. So that's the gist of who we are and what we do, and now I can explain a bit more of what I'm doing. So my position is solely centered on managing our Environmental Education Corps AmeriCorps program. This was created at the beginning of this year on a planning grant through the Corporation for National Community Service. So I was brought on to really help define what this program will look like, and then we got the operational grant to run this statewide program that will begin this August. So in less than a month, we're already gonna have AmeriCorps members mobilized across the state of Colorado, building capacity of EE across the state in both rural and urban settings. We have 8 host sites that have partnered with us for this year, with 11 AmeriCorps members being mobilized. So this program was created to implement the goals of the Colorado Environmental Education Plan, or the CEP. You'll see there's a lot of acronyms that we use. So the CEP was created in partnership between CAEE, CDE, and CDNR, oh my gosh, the Department of Natural Resources, and was adopted by the State Board of Education in December of 2012, which we still use. And we're building this entire AmeriCorps program to implement those goals of the CEP. So 8 years later, we're still going strong. So like I said, I was hired into this position at the beginning of this year to really develop this program. And we will be reaching pre-K through 12 students, teachers, schools across the state of Colorado in both rural and urban settings. So my job is not only to build this program and oversee the operations, but as a former AmeriCorps member myself, I'm also offering professional development and networking opportunities and other forms of training to our members so that they're well prepared to pursue a future career in environmental education or natural resource management. So over the past few months, not a lot has changed for us in terms of staff changes or whatnot, since we're only a staff of 3. But I will tell you that the work for us has gone into hyperdrive in the past few months, because we are that statewide connector between environmental educators. We've seen a lot change to the field of environmental education. So a lot of organizations are having to furlough or lay off staff, but us, on the other hand, we're trying to keep everyone afloat with the resources that we have. So that's been taking the form of us offering numerous virtual discussions with EE providers on how to make the best of this time through professional development and adapting program models, because we're seeing a lot of EE providers moving towards virtual classroom learning. And especially right now, EE is so crucial because it helps to lower disease transmission by extending and expanding open outdoor learning spaces for school-aged children, So what we've done is we've partnered with the North American Association for Environmental Education to hold numerous talks with EE providers across the nation to figure out how we can work with schools and teachers to provide outdoor learning spaces and be inclusive of environmental education during this time of COVID. So we released the EE guidance. If you'd like to check that out, that's up online, but we're doing a lot with that. We're also focusing a lot on equity work and holding related discussions with our communities. We recently had a 2-day summit titled Shifting Towards Equity that we did with 2 other statewide affiliates with a huge turnout. Just to segue into what we're focusing on through the end of 2020. So we'll continue to support EE providers and help keep them afloat as best as we can. We'll also be advocating for school partnerships with EE providers during the pandemic and continuing the discourse on equity and inclusion. Thanks for the link, Dana. Personally, I will continue forever to be working on the AmeriCorps program and helping our members to navigate through uncertainty, because a lot of members are coming on board being like, what happens if schools don't come back? Are we just going to not serve, you know? So helping them to navigate the uncertainty. It's a work in progress. So how can you all help us? So we will be offering professional development and learning opportunities to our AmeriCorps members throughout their entire service term. Thus, it would be great to have them learn about the work the Alliance Center is doing and what the tenants are doing, including ways to get involved. Especially, AmeriCorps members have to commit to 3 national days of service where they dedicate, they volunteer their time for an entire day towards causes that impact their community. So if you all have any ideas for that, please do pass that along to me. We also want to extend a hand in case we can assist with any of your educational efforts. If you need partnerships, we are a huge connector. So please do reach out to us for those potential partnerships that we can offer you. And I personally am looking for any previous AmeriCorps members or supervisors of AmeriCorps members to join my advisory committee, because this is our first year in operation and we're really looking for folks to help guide this program. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Yeah, supporting educators and schools right now is certainly a task. So good luck with that and with, figuring everything out. And so next we will move on to Kristen Kim Hayes, and she is with Recycle Colorado. So Kristen, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I am Kristen Kim Hayes. I'm the Executive Director for Recycle Colorado here. And Recycle Colorado, we are a Colorado statewide nonprofit organization going on 30 years, focused on supporting all that is recycling, which sounds like a big gulp, but it is certainly high impact. And we are able to operate this way largely because of our extremely experienced and diverse board of directors, our 500 strong membership and partnership base, in a progressive and supportive state. I'm sure you guys have been following the news. We don't usually get this excited about legislative bills and in passing, it usually is, well, what happens next? But this year it's been a roller coaster, and this last bill, Senate Bill 55, incentivizing development, recycling, and markets, was passed last month, and even got the governor to sign it live stream. So we're really grateful for that, and there's so much positivity and renewed hope with this bill passing, that the governor and first gentleman will be making a guest appearance at our upcoming Summit for Recycling. And it's a virtual event on Tuesday and Wednesday, August 25th and 26th. So please put a placeholder in there for that. And we're really excited to work with the state, OEDIT, CDPHE. Kat was talking about alphabet soup. So OEDIT, I should say, is the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade. And CDPHE is the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, and businesses and other entities to build out Colorado through the lucrative industry of recycling. So we're really thrilled about that, and we see a lot of progress happening. I wanted to do a little giveaway to break this up a little. And actually, Mariah, you gave me a great idea. So you asked everybody to turn off their video. So the first few people that turn on their video get the prize. Okay, we got one. There we go, we got two. All right, Mariah, and then please email your contact information to her and she will get that to you. So we just got a really nice in-kind donation from Swire Coca-Cola, who we work closely with. They sit on our board and they are a member to a very active member. And they donated some metal straws that are reusable. I know everybody's been hearing about that, the straws in the ocean and plastic in general, right? So it's something that everybody is aware of, but maybe hasn't been motivated to go out and get. So we thought that these would be a really nice giveaway for you guys. So you guys get them, thank you. Swire Coca-Cola has been doing some seriously impactful sustainability and producer responsibility work within a wide range of efforts, everything from water to using recycled material in their products and increasing waste diversion throughout all communities. So we're really thrilled that we can do this with you, and they will have a presence at our summit event as well. So that was a little bit of a trick, but if everybody can turn their videos on, I would love that. This is a way for me to get to know everybody as well. Just like Kat, we're new and we do want to meet everybody and get to know your faces. I know, hi guys, hi. And I'm here today just to say thank you. Thank you guys for doing your part, you know, doing something, right? It can be overwhelming and you should never feel bad about what you don't do. You should always just be excited about what you do. So I am excited to meet everybody who has some sort of connection to sustainability. And I can't thank you enough. So that is really why I'm here. If I can encourage you to do anything to get involved with recycling, that would be through our organization, of course. You can be a member on an individual or business level. And just let me know how you want to get involved. There are volunteer opportunities. There are councils that we have that cover the entire state. And then we have some subset councils like composting or organics. And we have a C&D, construction and demolition, which is growing and growing right now. So there's a lot of interest in there on that. And then we have a policy council, one of the biggest ones, right? So we do a lot of legislative work with that, and we are in the process of planning what's next for the next session that's coming up. So it's a great time if you want to get involved there. Thank you. Mariah, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen, and all of our speakers. That was really wonderful to hear from you and learn about the work you're doing. I'm so impressed with how all of you have been able to pivot over the last few months and kind of focus on, you know, supporting your members and still accomplishing great work. So that's great. Let's see. So if folks want to go ahead and come off video, if you can, no worries if not. But this next section is intended to be more of just kind of Q&A conversation. So if anyone has a question, go ahead and come off mute. And while folks are, I don't know, finding the mute button, I do just want to offer the Alliance Center. You know, we're here as a resource. So for, you know, all of our speakers and everyone else on here, if you have events or programs, or if you're looking for experts in a field, or, you know, folks who have worked with AmeriCorps in the past or anything like that, you know, we are here as a community to help you. So feel free to get in touch with me, get in touch with, you know, your fellow tenants. We have Community Corner, which is our community listserv that it goes out to pretty much everyone who's in the community. We also have the community Facebook page, so you can find that online as well. So those are just some resources there to start with. And it looks like Chris might have a question.
Putting me on the spot. Thanks, Mariah. Left and right hand of the Alliance Center, putting each other on the spot. Thanks. Kristen, would love to hear from you on some of the glass recycling initiative that was going on maybe 18 months ago, maybe even. I was involved with some of the early planning, and I'm not sure what you all found with doing that with Momentum, I think it was.
Yeah. I was actually, funny you mentioned it. I don't know if you follow our Facebook page, but I was just at Momentum Recycling.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, they're doing phenomenal. John is moving and grooving and looking for ways to make sure if this resonates with anybody, making sure that mountain communities and more remote rural communities understand that he's available too. I think collection for all materials, really, in waste diversion, gets harder and harder as things get more and more spread out. With transportation, with a collective base for people to get to, it can be a little difficult, but he is such a great circular, truly circular business. So Chris mentioned Momentum Recycling. Momentum Recycling, for everybody, is a glass recycling facility where they actually take bottles in, but then they also remake bottles. So that is what we call that circular loop, where there's not too much waste as far as that goes. And it's wonderful. And he is phenomenal. It went very well. Thank you, Chris. And then I believe Laura, did you work with Laura on that?
I'm trying to think which member it would have been. I don't remember which.
She has a great report. I would love to show that to you. She has a wonderful report on that, and we want to do more, right? There's always, as we all know, right? There's always room to do more, and so we need to, of course, when we're hunkering down in these times, to do that analysis of where can we make the biggest impact right now with the resources we have, right? That's the biggest question, and glass is one that is a very, very big deal.
Yeah.
Hot topic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Dana, it looks like you have a couple great questions, actually. Would you want to ask those?
I'm always full of questions, but don't want to like monopolize things. But for Kat, I was curious, like, it sounds like most of the resources and networking that you do is for formal educators, but curious, many of us are now in the position of becoming teachers or trying to supplement what kids are getting if they're like going back to school part-time or not at all. Just curious what resources that CAEE is putting out might be of relevance to parents and caregivers.
It's a really great question. So the EE guidance that was released is more so guidance for schools and what schools can do. But CAEE has also partnered with some other organizations to create kind of a database of activities that parents can use with their children at home, or how to turn even their front yard into an outdoor learning space. So if you're looking for those, if any of you are interested in that, if you're parents or need some activities for kids regarding EE, definitely contact my executive director. She has the resources for that, and I'll just put her email in the chat.
Awesome. Does anyone else have a question? Any of our attendees?
I'll ask the question that I had for Kristen.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. So I live in Lakewood, and Lakewood does not have municipal trash and recycling, which I think is crazy and inefficient. And I'm just curious if that issue is something that Recycle Colorado gets involved with, whether it's getting questions on the ballot, doing voter education, or working with cities to support their contracting with waste haulers. I saw it happen in Golden and was super excited that happened, and Lakewood has not gotten with the program yet.
You're on our list. Yeah, we do quite a bit of work with that. So yes, reach out. Let's join forces there. We have a lot of connections as well as ways we can approach it. So yes, that would be great. Please reach out, sure. One of the biggest successes too recently was that Arvada went to a single hauler So everybody gets a recycling bin now, and that really, even just that availability and that acknowledgement that recycling is an option hadn't been there before. So really excited about that one, and let us know. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so I have a question for everyone. So very interesting, not intentional, but maybe I should say it was, that all of our speakers today are parts of membership organizations, right? You all work to help and support your member organizations. So I guess I'm curious, what is it that what do you like about being, a membership organization, and what do you find challenging?
Well, I'm off of mute. I guess I could go first. I didn't put myself back on. What do we like about the membership organization? The people. The people are great. The people are always keeping us on our toes, educated, well-rounded. You have to have as much information and as many opinions and as many points of view, I think, to make the best decisions you can and to direct you in the best way on where your efforts go, right? So the more the merrier, right? I love the people. I love the companies. I love the thought sharing and the help too. We're all here to help each other, and we can find partnerships that maybe we never even saw possible, or we never even understood would be fruitful or beneficial. So I think keeping that dialogue, the Alliance Center having this and their FICA meetings and all of that, I think that's just so great to take advantage of, and when you can, and jump in and get to know one or two more people that you never knew before. So yeah, keep that conversation flowing. And
I agree with that 100%. And some of the research that we're doing right now is actually into a member management software. So I might turn that back into a question, like to the Alliance Center, to CAEE, to Recycle Colorado. Is there like a CRM or a database that you use? And could I follow up with you to ask you some more questions about it?
yes.
Yeah, I would add that definitely being a statewide connector is amazing. We have formed these long-lasting partnerships that ultimately we formed to reach one common goal, and that's to build environmental literacy across the state. And I mean, all of these EE organizations are doing incredible work, and just being able to form these programs and the work that we do around the Colorado Environmental Education Plan, we're able to streamline that across all of our partners so that we're all working towards that common goal. But just to add on, what's challenging is that we can't reach everyone, and we want to, right? It's hard because we are also a membership organization, and a lot of folks will become members with us, and we're able to provide them with professional development opportunities and whatnot. But again, some can't afford those memberships, and some, don't even know about us because they just don't have those resources. So we're trying to reach everyone, but it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking at, I think pretty much almost everyone here is kind of some part of a membership organization in some way, shape, or form. So yeah.
Yeah, I can speak for my organization at the Lodo District. So we're just a registered neighborhood organization for businesses in Lodo. And so it's sort of like what the interest is of the folks who are joining. Several of them join because they just want to be advocates for the neighborhood and preservation and things like that. And other folks, it's very much a transactional relationship of, scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. And you kind of do have to have both, of course, as we know, but you do have to, like you were saying, Kat, get to kind of find that common ground with every single member if you really want to maximize the partnership. And it's just really challenging to level set with all of those people and make sure that you're suiting everyone's needs when you actually have like an agenda more or less that you need to stick to and do what you said you were going to do, and not really like make exceptions for different people. But it's just part of that fine balance that we all have to do of being nonprofits and being membership organizations. And right now it's just incredibly challenging, but also like really, really calling for like some super honest conversations that probably haven't been had or have been kind of kicked down the line for far too long. So there's some opportunities there, but it's also scary.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Cool. Okay. Well, we are pretty much on time. If anyone has anything else they want to add, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, we'll try and get you done a couple minutes early. I know back to back is rough. So
Thank you.
selfishly, that was for me. But yeah, I have everyone's name down. So I'll be reaching out to the winners of our giveaways via email. So keep an eye out for that. I have everyone's email. And thank you so much to our speakers for taking the time today to share such great information with us. I know I learned a lot. I have some folks I definitely want to be following up with, and I see some good stuff in the chat. So I'll make sure that we capture everything that was in the chat as well and send that out to follow up with everyone here so that, you know, we can keep this conversation going. And if you would like to get in touch with the speakers, we'll put their information here on the screen for a minute, but we will also be, I'll be sharing that information as well. They've said that was all right. So definitely let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much to everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about your fellow tenants, and definitely get in touch if you have anything else you want to add, or if there's any way that we can continue to be of service.
Thanks, Mariah. I hope you keep doing this. Keep it going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, thanks.